Welcome to another episode of 12.5 Minutes. My name is Jared Kelly, and I'm with my friend and co-host, Liz Whitehead.
Hi, Jared.
Great to see you.
You too.
Well, I am really about this topic. Let's get into it. Crazy, scary, genius, hilarious. Crazy. I have to ask, how crazy are journalists? Right now, I am looking at a story that describes Megyn Kelly suggesting that Epstein was not a pedophile, was not a pedophile. They could have stopped there. But she says he's not a pedophile because he liked 15-year-old girls that looked even younger. I'm so confused.
Yeah, I feel like we've lost the plot. Like I was thinking like, oh, he's not just a pedophile because there's a whole bunch of people whose lives he's ruined. There's a whole like ring. Um and so yeah, that argument is not just bad faith, it's like a bad brain argument. It's like your brain, Megan, isn't working properly.
And
You just
perhaps
described a pedophile.
perhaps you shouldn't be recording this for the public, right? Get your thoughts together, get your morals and your values together, if you have any, and then try to remember you are supposed to be a professional journalist, right?
Right. Like, are there any editors anymore? It's just like, just go out there and blah, blah, blah into the air. Like, there's nobody that's like, I mean, there's a set, right? She's on TV. But there's nobody there to be like,
Yeah.
uh, I have a question.
Yeah, let's stop and try to do that again, and let's come back at that with a different angle.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
produce. Let's come back at that with a different angle because
Yeah.
that one right there is just going to get us either sued or it's going to confuse our audience. So
Right.
that was crazy.
Yeah. It's wild. Wild. Uh, and that's not even the scary thing we have to talk about this week. That's just the crazy thing.
Right. So let's get into it. What do you think is scary?
So, I mean, I think if we're talking about pedophiles and we're
Hey, loud pedophiles. We're talking about
talking
pedophiles.
about pedophiles, and like it's also that it's obviously an abhorrent behavior. It's universally understood to be abhorrent. Like it's not actually political either way. It's awful. And one of the worst things you can do. And yet, we deep down we kind of know that like these people will not be prosecuted, that people involved. Like we're talking about the files and the people on the list and the people on the plane and the people on the island. But it's like we know that nothing's gonna really happen to them. I mean, it would be honestly, it would be a bridge too far. But if this were the straw that broke the camel's back, you know what I mean? It's like this is a line. This is one thing we won't put up with. But we're kind of going the other way of being like this is something we're willing to put up with now. It's brutal.
It is. It is because I also recognize that there's a double standard. We have people that we like, artists, music artists that have been tried, prosecuted, in prison. There are other individuals in the artist world, let's say. But either way, if you just lump them into celebrities, right? Well, this high profile list that keeps being referenced is full of individuals that had a high net worth that were included in these parties and engagements, if you will. But the chances of any of them facing any type of prosecution is slim to none. And when it comes down to it, are we really going to get any quote justice for the victims who were involved with this process? Like the parents that of the children that were involved, like how are they feeling that these old men were able to not only do this to their daughters, but there's no consequences? That's
Yeah,
what's scary. That's what scared me.
it is really scary. And it's scary how far we have not come. Sometimes it seems like a page is going to turn, like with the Me Too movement or something like that. But actually, we're we're still back in the Stone Age when it
Yeah.
comes to this stuff.
Well, speaking of Stone Age, how about this? Not quite the Stone Age, but I want to give a little bit of a shout out. And this is because when I think of the 60s and I think about like how many genius things were created in the 60s, I have to bring up two names. And when I do, I think some people might recognize Hanna-Barbera. Hanna-Barbera Productions actually created the animated series called The Jetsons. And for some of us who are old enough to remember the Jetsons, we have to recognize that as of today, they have to be identified as genius individuals because their creativity, number one, to look into the future about what we could be doing, what we would be doing, how we would live, our whole quality of life, being involved with AI, with robotics, with travel, air travel in unique ways. These were geniuses in 1962. You fast forward 50 years, 60 years, and we still can't catch up to the ideas that they created and brought to life.
No, I mean, I think that one of the biggest ones, and I talk about this with Back to the Future all the time as well, um, which is that the hovering cars. Like we've talked about this before, like we allegedly know how to do airplanes, like kind of one at a time, but even that's not going well for us. We're going back. And
Exactly.
so this idea, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. We can look to artists to have and creativity, creative artists to really let their imagination go about where we can be, because we are not even close.
Not at all. Not at all. And we have to respect the genius, right? We have new genius, hopefully that will lead us into the future, but just giving some respect back to the Stone Age, if you will, of 1960s. I hate to say it like that, but you know, I just think that was a genius level of thought process to put that not only from idea, but to create it and bring it to life for people as a form of entertainment. So what do you think? Let's talk about something fun, something funny. What do you think is hilarious?
So what on this topic of like robotics and things like that, what I saw an article in the Washington Post, and it was a fun article about like how to identify if something's written by ChatGPT, and then also like as a human, how not to sound like that. So there was a couple of things I was like, oh, I do that. Like one of them is ChatGPT loves the check mark emoji and uses it a lot more than humans do. I'm like, oh, I use the check mark emoji a lot. It's just so like crisp and clear what I'm saying. But then the other one was using M dashes, which I also do when I write. And I was like, oh, this is bizarre. I'm in a position where this robot has mimicked the way people like me write. And now to get away from that, I have to start doing something different, but he's going to catch up. He, they, it is going to catch up. Um, and then, so it's like, we're always staying like one step ahead of the singularity, despite the fact that we're not that far ahead to begin with. That was just hilarious to me. I was like, oh, I got to switch stuff up.
Yeah.
What about you? What was funny for you?
Well, I think that switch up is interesting because yeah, you don't want to be um, overly criticized with people thinking that you are getting your content from chat when it's actually your style of writing that's being mimicked by chat. Um, but what's also interesting and funny to me is Cardi B. Let me tell you this, because
Always.
nobody's mimicking Cardi B and how she responds to things, especially considering the recent court trial that was apparently um, recorded and published for everyone to watch, which I think it should have been on the entertainment channel because she was hilarious in her responses to the prosecuting attorney. And fortunately, she was acquitted of the charges against her when it comes to assault and the security guard, who was called a variety of names and very politely. But that whole trial was pure entertainment. Cardi B, have to love her, and I'm sure AI is trying to copy her, but I'm going to tell you that there's some original thought in her brain that is not easily mimicked. And so, congratulations to her, by the way, too, because I understand that she and Stefan Diggs actually had their baby that she was pregnant with during that trial. So,
Yeah, during the altercation and the trial.
during
Very
the
impressive.
alleged altercation.
Alleged altercation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. We talked about this a little bit that like we were reading through the transcript and we're almost late. Like we try to keep this to 12.5 minutes. And if we read you the transcript, it would go way over because there is a lot that's really hilarious in there.
Absolutely. And if you're having a bad day, just look up Cardi B's quotes at the trial about assault, and you might be clearly entertained. Or go to YouTube. I'm sure it's out there as well. So, anyway, another great episode of Crazy, Scary, Genius, and Hilarious. 12.5 minutes. My name is Jared Kelly. This is Liz Whitehead, and we are out of here.